James, what does Gareth Southgate do in that midfield?
I'll tell you what he needs to do in that midfield. He needs to get someone that's a smooth operator, playing just in front of the front. Kobe Mainoo, no doubt about it. That's generational talent.
Is it slightly premature? Are you worried at all that it's just slightly early?
We've seen him play in many games. He's holding Manchester United. When they need a goal, he comes and he nicks it. Now, beside him, you're not going to get Henderson, who plays card tricks. You're going to get his successor, which is Conor Gallagher. No Declan Rice, because Declan Rice... Yes.
Wait, what do you mean?
Leave Rice out?
What do you mean, no Declan Rice? What do you mean?
110%. You leave him out. I'll tell you why you leave him out. Because you've got Kobe. I'll tell you exactly why you leave him out. Because you've got Kobe Mainoo, who could play balls between the lines. You've got Kobe Mainoo, who's really good when it comes to IQ. And then you've got Conor Gallagher, who's going to do the hard, dogged work. Not only that, he could also play a pass. The problem with Declan Rice is he can't break the line, right? He takes too many touches to get the ball out of his feet. And when he does break the lines with his progressive runs, he passes it backwards.
You know the problem with
who do you support, James?
He supports Spurs. I just realised.
Yeah, I support Spurs.
Yeah.
Is there an element of tribalism in this assessment of Declan Rice?
And Arsenal, so yeah.
There isn't because I'll have Saka all day on that flank.
Okay, so what's your midfield three? You think it should be Mainoo, Gallagher, and Bellingham?
Correct.
With Rice on the bench?
Bench, definitely.
No.
I feel like he's too good. You could argue that he's the best player in the Premier League this season.
Listen, he's having a good season. Calm down, okay? Look,
he had a good season last season for West Ham as well.
He had an okay season. Look, Declan Rice, for me, I don't know what position he plays. He's not good when he's at a 6. He's poor. He's not creative enough to be at 8. He's not...
he's not poor. Come on, James. He's not. Like, I get the tribalism sometimes, but he's not poor as a 6. I mean, last season we were trying to compare him to Rodri, which was maybe a silly comparison because Rodri's clearly the best 6 in the world. But Declan Rice is a fantastic midfielder. So he's so good for Arsenal this season. We don't even talk about the price tag anymore.
Well, Arsenal fans are singing that he's a bargain at full price. They're singing that they got him for half.
Look, I'm telling you, give him one more season. You're going to see the real.
James, do you know what? I don't really want to make the case for any Arsenal player, but I'm going to have to do it here. This is wild. This is a wild assessment of Declan Rice.
Let's get back to the 3, right? So you're going to have Jude Bellingham as a number 10.
Yeah, agreed so far.
Okay,
Declan Rice comes on when it's time to lock up the game.
The problem is, James, I'm a Chelsea fan and I love Conor Gallagher. I think he's a wonderful player. But it's just incomparable to bring up Conor Gallagher when discussing England's midfield when Declan Rice is an option. Like, there is just no world in which Conor Gallagher can start for England ahead of Declan Rice. It just doesn't make any sense.
I think Conor Gallagher will sub himself for Declan Rice.
There's nothing. There's literally nothing that Conor Gallagher is better than Declan Rice at as a central midfielder. Not one metric.
Not one at all. Interesting call, though. Interesting call. Let's go to Graham, the Everton fan. Graham, you dropping Declan Rice?
See, for me, I sort of agree with Rio against the lesser teams. But it's when you come up against the better sides, what you do in that middle, I probably would go with Mainoo. But yeah, I think against the lesser teams where we're trying to attack, I'd go for what Rio said.
Okay, so Jude, Declan Rice and Phil Foden.
Yes.
Yeah.
If when you said you probably would go for Kobe in some games, what's the midfield then? Who comes out of that 3?
I'd probably say Foden and then maybe move Foden out wide if you can, because you've got to try and get him into the team no matter where you play him.
Graham,
he's just that good.
Graham, do you think it's a slightly risky strategy to be amending our team depending on the opposition? Do you not think that, considering how quick the games come around in tournament football, you don't have long to establish who you are? The Southgate isn't going to have a long time with the players prior to the tournament starting. Do you not think that he just needs his team almost regardless of opposition rather than chopping and changing depending on who we're playing?
I suppose so, but say someone gets injured.
Yeah, in that case, it's forced upon you.
He's got to adjust anyway, hasn't he? But the main thing is, for me, is when you were talking about centre-backs before, is Jared Brantwaite should be starting next to John Stones, because that lad just keeps getting better and better every single game you watch him.
Addy said that earlier, Graham. Addy said that. I thought it was a bit premature.
I mentioned him, and what upset me is in the friendlies, he didn't get a minute. He couldn't even.
Crazy.
It's ridiculous. You've called him up to have a look at him, obviously, and don't get me wrong. I mean, Gareth would always point to the fact that he can look at him in training, but we want to see him against the Brazilians and the Belgians. Good forward lines, and we didn't get to see him.
Well, the other reason why he has to play in those games is because what you don't really want to do, you don't want to have a situation where a player doesn't have an England cap and is making his England debut when there's so much jeopardy at a tournament, do you? Do you think it's throwing Brantwaite? Yeah, do you think it's throwing him in the deep end?
Yeah, I agree, which he should have given game time, but if you watch him week in, week out like we do, honestly...
Has he been that good, Graham, then?
John Stone, honestly, he's been bailing Tarkowski out at certain situations, and Tarkowski's been a rock for us, but the past, say, 5-6 games, he's been a bit shaky, and Brantwaite just seems to be stepping in and doing a bit of his work as well. But he's like now what John Stones was at the same age. Brantwaite's better, and he's going to be unbelievable. He won't be able to keep hold of him for much longer, I don't think. I think he will go.
No, fantastic player. When you look at how many goals Everton...
so high.
When you look at how many goals Everton have conceded, considering where they are, it's pretty much down to him as well. Look, over on talkSPORT 2 tonight, there is exclusive commentary from the Championship as Plymouth host Leicester, and there's been a goal.
Bars comes across to try and prevent him going forward. Bundu scores! Right-footed, low shot into the bottom corner. It's Plymouth Argyle's first shot of the night, and Mustafa Bundu has given struggling Plymouth Argyle the lead against the Championship leaders. Plymouth Argyle 1, Leicester City 0.
Wow. Massive goal there by Mustafa Bundu for Plymouth to put them 1-0 up against league leaders Leicester as they battle down the bottom of the league. That would, by the way, take them up to 16th and 5 points clear of the drop zone. So massive goal. Let's take another phone call. Tony, the Chelsea fan. Tony, you heard Rio there say that he would do Phil Foden, Jude Bellingham, Declan Rice as the midfield for England. What would you do?
Personally, I think we've just got to go all out attack. We're going to just go out there. We score more than you. If they score 2, we score 3. I think we should go 3 at the back. We haven't got a left back, or if we had, they're always injured, Chilwell and Shaw. For me, you play Kyle Walker right at the 3, John Stones in the middle, and then Tomori on the left side of the 3. And then in the midfield, you have Declan Rice holding, Bukayo Saka right, Jack Grealish left. And then what you do is you put Phil Foden and Bellingham as a 2 just in front of Rice, and they alternate on attacks. So if it's going down Foden's side, Foden goes in attack, Bellingham slightly holds next to Rice a little bit more, and then vice versa. If Bellingham goes forward, Foden holds slightly back. I think we've just got to go gung-ho.
Tony, can I ask you a question? Can you think off the top of your head of any example where a team that has adopted this policy, you score 3, we'll score 4, Kevin Keegan's Newcastle, for example, can you think of an example where a team has adopted that policy and won anything?
To be fair, I think if you look at Liverpool, to be honest, I mean, Jurgen Klopp's got quite that heavy metal style, when he goes out there, they can see goals, but he goes for it as well. For me, I don't think Southgate will do that. I think he's very negative in his approach going forward when we've got such talent.
It's interesting that you mentioned Tomori there, because he's almost been the one that's been on the outside looking in, obviously doing his thing at AC Milan, and no one has spoken about the fact that he's not been in the recent squads.
Yeah, unbelievable. I mean, he helped AC Milan to win their first titles in the last 10 years or something like that. Fantastic defender. Again, like the Everton lad, Braithwaite, both brilliant defenders, but they're not getting minutes. I think it baffles me and a lot of England fans all around the country, really.
Yeah. Final one, Conor Gallagher. Obviously, look, fantastic player for Chelsea. Has tried his hardest this season. Do you think both him and Cole Palmer make the squad?
I think Cole Palmer should. I mean, I think you've definitely got to take him based on for how well he's doing. Like you said about Harry Kane earlier with the goals in that Tottenham team, I think you could say the same for Cole Palmer. I think Cole Palmer could. I like Gallagher. He's got great energy. Nowhere near a better footballer than the other lads, Declan Rice, Jack Grealish, Phil Foden. He's not at that level in terms of that. But maybe last 10 minutes, see a game out, a bit of energy, possibly.
Top man.
Put it that way.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.